Address, JB Bickerstaff, talking to Jaylen Duren and telling him ain't no way that a guy like Donovan Mitchell should get a rebound over him. Let me say this too. Cleveland coach Kenny Atkinson, which I liked. I wanted him to be the Piston head coach when they got rid of Dwayne Casey, or promoted Dwayne Casey, the son out here shining today. Shit, we don't need them no more. He should be saying the same thing about Dennis Jenkins having more rebounds than Evan Mobley and getting rebounds over them. I'm just gonna say that because Evan Mobley had 1 rebound game 2. Very talented big fella, but Shannon Sharp asked on X, what's wrong with Jaylen Duren? I feel like this series he's been playing pretty well. I mean, the stats are always not going to indicate that, but he's been playing a lot better. I mean, especially when on paper, Cleveland bigs are more talented, or more talented than Orlando bigs. Jared Allen, Wendell Carter, Paolo is phenomenal. But Evan Mobley could be just as good as Paolo. He got that physical talent. He just don't have that battery that Paolo got in his back, that motivation, that will. You know what I mean? But yeah, I kind of, I'm not mad where you can call your players out. I mean, he benched Asar Thompson. Check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. And people had to feel that you can't bench him when he play not. And guess what? He responded greatly after that. So a real coach knows how to push the buttons. And for the most part, Isaiah Stewart, you can't really, quantify his impact with numbers, but man, he got some ticky-tack fouls. Cleveland cried for some fouls and they got him game 2. He had some ticky-tack ass fouls, which some of them I agree with, some of them I didn't. But I mean, just the little shit that, they're doing with Cleveland bigs. Altering shots, rushing shots. There's a couple times that people went out at Isaiah Stewart at the rim. Tyson, the one I can remember, instead of going straight up when knowing he had 4 or 5 fouls at the time, he changed the trajectory of the ball and like passed it or did a layup. So their presence is changing shots at the rim, and they bumping. I mean, instead of saying, Duren only had 8, 9 or whatever it was. I mean, shit, Evan Mobley had 1 rebound. Jared Allen, he was, he had 22 points. But a lot of them he had to work for them. The Detroit bigs have been playing phenomenal this series, and the numbers are not going, like I said, you ain't going to be able to quantify with numbers. But I thought they've been playing pretty well. I know since people don't see 20 and 10, they don't think they playing well, but shit, you going down there against some very talented bigs. I mean, they wing players are they wing defenders? Tyson, and they made the adjustment too. Truth be told, they made a big adjustment. They seen that Keon Ellis couldn't hold Cade. They set his ass clean on the bench. And they went with Dean Wade, and they went with Tyson and Strus to guard Cade. But unfortunately, Strus is getting wore down. His legs is getting took away from him from shooting a 3. So then they just kept Dean Wade and they said, okay, he can shoot. He can't really drive and do nothing else. But we're going to have to live and die with how limited he is. And, Strus' legs is getting wore out. These unofficial screens, these ball screens, they switching everything, and they wearing his legs out. So when they come to making them threes, Strus ain't got the, so that's the thing about it. And Cade was able to, wear the defenders out the first 3 quarters. In the 4th quarter, he was able to, pick it up. But for Duren, I think he playing much better this series. That's just my opinion. And yeah, he got to, rebound and do a little bit more. And, I think that's a no-brainer. But he playing well. He playing well, better than the Orlando series. So I don't think it's warranted for him to be called out. But as far as for the public, he doing what he do. Allen is the type of big fella. He just a hustler. He the toughest guy on their team. Him, Strus, Wade, Ellis, those, and the Chandler or Tyson guy. They the toughest guys on the team. You know, so Duren down there, missing some gimmies and all that, man, he ain't going down against no strumps. And let's give Wendell Carter his flowers, because Wendell Carter he ain't no wall pushover. He ain't no pushover, so he ain't just going through any and that, these teams, they going through physical teams. It ain't gonna be a team the rest of the way. There's no more big fellas that's as physical as Orlando and Cleveland. Cat ain't on that level. Mitchell Robinson, yeah, but he can't sustain more than playing 20 minutes. He's a burst guy. You look at Minnesota, Garbert, they ain't really tough. Minnesota ain't really they tough, but they ain't like Cleveland, Orlando tough. San Antonio ain't tough. As far as in the middle, Wemby lighting ass, hellified player. How lighting ass though. They got some tough wings, so I'll give them that. But in LA, we don't even got to talk about the OKC. They just flop. What you seen from Cleveland is, what you going to see from OKC if you watch their games the rest of them. That's what you going to see. But, Duren is playing much better. And on paper, most people would say Cleveland bigs are more talented than Orlando's. At least in the paint. So, but yeah, you shouldn't be letting people, Donovan Mitchell get rebounds over you and all of that. But, the Pistons really ate on them second chance points. They really ate. They really did last week. They ate last game. It was a couple that Cleveland got, and of course, Evan Mobley is one of the most talented, physically talented big fellas in the NBA. Jared Allen is one of the most hustling ass, if not the most hustling ass big fella in the NBA. I mean, they gonna get second chance points but the way they limit them, the second chance opportunities, Stewart, everybody. Dennis Jenkins was in there rebounding. The physicality is different. It's just that when they go to Cleveland, they got to take that mentality and amp it up. My thing is this. Everybody always talk about preparing to take the punch when you play game 3 and you go on the road, regardless if you up 2-0 or whatever. It's tie you down. My mentality as a coach, my mentality will be how Orlando was when they came in game 1 versus we want to deliver the punch. I got to take a punch, I got to take it, but that's not going to be the first words to my team. We got to survive the onslaught. We want to be the onslaught. We want to, take their heart out and eat it. Who did that in Mortal Kombat? Was it Shang Tsung? Yeah, I want to take your heart out and eat it. That's the mentality. I want to take your heart out and eat it. But, I want to deliver the blow. But, like I said, no Diddy. But Duren, I think he's playing a lot better. I'm not going to be hard on him. But, yeah, you can't be letting that happen. But, Mitchell is a great player. He played really well off the ball. They got some adjustments to make in Cleveland. Maybe take the ball out of James Harden's hand. Maybe that might be the ticket. What are you speeding to a green light for? That might be the thing, is to take the ball out of James Harden's hand and let Donovan Mitchell just run he did a pass yesterday, man. I can't even remember who it was to. He did a hellified pass to somebody, man. That shit was amazing. That was a sweet ass pass. Maybe if I'm their coach, maybe I'm just looking to, maybe I'm just looking to, put the ball in Mitchell's hand. That might be what I'm looking at. Put the ball in Mitchell's hand. That might be my ticket. Play Harden off the ball. But then again, I like the idea of taking the ball out of Mitchell's hand because you got Harden, but you gotta try something. But check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Peace.